Hello boys and girls. Today Catherine is going to make sweet and sour chicken. It is a Chinese recipe. Okay, so first we'll take a quick look at our utensils. I have here a jug for mixing, a fish slice and a wooden spoon for moving around in the pan, a sharp knife, one for meat and one for vegetables. I have my measuring cups. I always have my measuring cups and my measuring spoons, a knife and a fork. Okay, and I have Chinese food is usually cooked in a wok, which is a kind of a semi-circular pan, but I don't have one, so you use your ordinary frying pan or a big deep saucepan, okay? And my chopping board, of course, and my oven gloves for keeping my hands safe. Right, then the ingredients we're going to use some green pepper, some red pepper, some onion, some garlic, some chicken breast or any chicken really, some corn flour for thickening, some orange juice, and then for flavouring I'm going to use some brown sugar, tomato sauce, soy sauce, and cider vinegar. Okay, so they're all our ingredients, and I have here a bowl as well for my peels. So the thing I like about a pepper really is that you can, once you have it halved, no matter what size your hand is, any little hand can get involved in this cooking, right? Because peppers are dead safe, and so we're taking out all the white part that's in there, okay? So we're going to use half a green pepper and half a red pepper. Okay, so you know, there's still a lot of pepper there that we will salvage. We're not going to throw away all of that. Okay, so keep all your pepper, take out the white bits and the seeds, knock out the seeds like that. So I have half a red pepper and half a green pepper. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to tear it with our fingers. We don't always need to use knives, so everybody can do this. You can just tear it like that quickly with your fingers, getting it ready, okay? And it's lovely and juicy and sweet. So there are lots of coloured peppers, but today we're using a green and a red pepper. So you continue to break them like that, and then break your green pepper. Pick it all up like that, so it's handy. So sometimes you get a white piece like that, throw that away because that hasn't a good flavour. So there you have my pepper, that's all cut up. So now we're going to do an onion, and we're going to use a full medium onion. Peel off your onion, cut the bottom and the top off. Okay, be careful with your hands getting your peels off. Now, of course, you could have all this chopped in advance, but we're just going to do the whole thing so we know, so we see what we're doing. Okay, so that's all my skin off and thrown away. So I'm going to slice it first, and I'm keeping my fingers well up and a bit chunky, just like your pepper. Okay, so that's my veg ready there. Then we're going to look at garlic. This is garlic. We're going to use a clove of garlic. So we open it like that. We find the clove of garlic and we take it out and we peel it. So cut the top off it, cut the bottom of it off of it, and then you can literally sort of rub the skin off it. It just comes away if you sort of give it a good rub. Right, and we're going to chop it. So with the back of your knife like this, you know, you just press it down like that, right? So it's not the blade part, I'm using the back there. So you're crushing the garlic. Okay, so that's ready as well. So that's all your onions, right? So we have that done. Next we're going to cut our chicken breast. But what I want to show you here is it's a good idea to have a different chopping board. I'm just going to leave that aside there. To have a different chopping board for your meat, okay? Because we don't want the germs, a different knife as well. We don't want the germs to go from this chopping board on to everything else, all right? So one is actually very big. Okay, so we'll wash that up later on. So there's very little waste in a chicken breast. You can take off the little bits of fat around there. If you have a pussy cat or a dog, they love them. And sometimes you'd have a little bit of membrane there. You cut that off. And the same on this one. Now this is actually an extraordinarily big one, really. You can see you have a big one and a small one, but that's not required. You can have just two medium size. Okay, and again, there's a bit of membrane there. So you can see where that was tied onto the wing. So you take that away. Okay, so we're going to cut it into nice squares. And you see the way I'm keeping my fingers well back. You know, and you have a good sharp knife and into nice squares like that. Okay. You have to be careful with chicken because sometimes it's a bit slippy. So go nice and slowly when you're cutting, take your time. Okay, when we'll be making this video or when we'll be cooking this now on Zoom, I want you to go nice and slowly with your cutting, okay? So there's my nice chicken already on the chopping board, okay? So now I'm going to wash my hands so that I'm not spreading germs all over the place. I'm going to wash and dry my hands for the moment. So I have here a jug. I said to you I'm going to get a tablespoon of corn flour and I'm going to add it to the jug. This is to thicken our dish lightly. Okay, so just a heaped tablespoon like that, pop it into your jug, and into that I'm going to put a cup of water. Okay, so you just fill it up. Right there. And before I put it in, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to stir it fast while I'm putting it in, right? Corn flour is great because it mixes quite easily for thickening and so on. So there we have it. Okay, and I'm going to add 1.5 cups of orange juice to that. So it's the red and the green cup, the Daddy Bear cup, the Mammy Bear cup, or the one with the red and the one with the green, okay? So it's 1.5 cups of orange juice. Now we said in the recipe you can use pineapple juice and pineapple chunks if you want, or you can just use plain orange juice. Okay, so that's 1 cup, and you see when you're measuring that you fill it up right up to the top, and the same with the 1/2 cup, fill it right up to the top, okay, and put it in. So we'll leave that aside there until we're ready to use it. Now I'm going to turn on my hob to number 4, and it's here behind. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, right? So it's over here, but I'll bring it over and back to you so that you can see it. So I'm going to put my vegetables into the pan. First I'm going to put a tiny bit of oil in and turn it on to number 4 and let it heat. So a little bit of oil. Not too much, and we let our pan heat there, right? So then we're going to put in our red and green pepper, our onion and our garlic. So you can see it looks nice and colourful inside in the pan. So we'll let that fry away for a couple of minutes. I'm just checking the recipe, making sure we're doing everything correctly. So we're going to put in now 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce. Today I'm using soy sauce, gluten-free soy sauce, because we've somebody gluten-free in our family, and I know one or two of our students are gluten-free. So this whole recipe is gluten-free. So the only thing you have to be careful with is the soy sauce. Okay? So I'm putting in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm just going to bring it back here for a second while we're doing this so that you can see it, okay? Do you see? 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce. Sometimes it's hard to squeeze. 2, 3 tablespoons. Okay, so that's my 3 tablespoons of that. I'm also going to put in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Right, so that tablespoon is wet. Now, a tablespoon is 2 level dessert spoons. So 3, so I'll need 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that, if you think about that, tomato sauce, the soy sauce and sugar, that's the sweet part of it. So we're making sweet and sour, and then for the sour part you added vinegar. So I'm adding cider vinegar, which I know is also gluten-free. So I'm putting in 4 tablespoons. It takes a bit of a while to come out. So make sure you fill it up right up to the top so you have your ratio of sweet and sour. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's all my flavouring in. You see it all there, so we're going to let that cook away there for a couple of minutes. So now you can see that the pan is nice and hot, and the vegetables, my red pepper, my green pepper, my onion, my garlic, my brown sugar, my gluten-free soy sauce, cider vinegar, and tomato sauce are nicely glazing away there. You see? So now we're going to put in the chicken. And I want you to watch when the chicken goes in, it will start to cook. It's raw when it goes into this dish, and then it will start to cook and it will start to turn white on the outside. So I'm going to ask my son Dermot now to bring over the chicken and to put it into the dish. So I got a bit of help here now because I'm using the video. So Dermot's putting in the chicken, and you can see that it's pink and that it's raw. That's perfect, Dermot. Thank you.
No problem.
So it's great to have help around the kitchen. It's lovely to have people helping you. So you can already see that it's starting to go white. Do you see the way it's starting to go white on the outside? So that's the difference between raw and cooked. So I'm going to keep stirring this until it's all nice and white. Now here we are back at the pan, and I've stir-fried it around for a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and you can see, look, it's got nice and white. Right, it's got nice and white. So now it's time to put in the orange juice mixture out of the jug. So Dermot's going to help me again. He's going to pour it in so I can stay stirring. And you have the cornflowers in it, so we want to be stirring continually, and he's going to pour it just where my spoon is, you see. So it's pouring in nice and slowly, and we're mixing it so that it doesn't get lumpy. Okay, so that's it. That's perfect, Dermot. Thank you. Yeah, is it all? No, you can pour it all in, please. Yeah, give me the whole lot. That's it. That's lovely. So we're going to let that we're going to let that simmer away for 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to let it simmer away for 20 minutes. Big lid here beside me. So we're going to put the lid on and let it simmer away for 20 minutes.
Now, the sweet and sour mixture has been simmering for 20 minutes, and I have prepared a bit of rice here. I just did the packet, the 2-minute packet, which is handy if you're in a hurry. So I'm just going to show you now how we serve it. So it's nice and hot and looking really well. Okay, now this is really important. We must always check, find the biggest piece of chicken, put it down on your chopping board, get your fork and your knife, and check that it's cooked in the center. So you must make sure that it's white in the center, that there's no pink in it, okay? If there is some pink in it, put it back in and let it cook some more, okay? So I'm just going to put some of our nice sweet and sour here beside the rice. We'll just push it out this way. Okay. So I'm going to leave the rest of it for later. So you see, I made a little bit of a mess on my dish there, so always tidy that off. So there you have the sweet and sour chicken Chinese recipe.